Hi everyone, so my case study is on bipolar 1 and 2. The scenario is Lynn is a 25-year-old female. She lives in Utah and works as a real estate agent. She has worked 7 different jobs since she was 18, and she switches job because they become non-exciting to her. She's had a hard time with long-term relationships. She has 3 kids from 2 ex-husbands and is currently engaged. She is anxious for the upcoming wedding and is running low on finances. So she's experiencing a lot of anxiety, euphoria, depression, increased irritability. She is also experiencing weekly and bi-weekly mood swings that range from depression and euphoria. During her high, she goes and spends excessively on wedding materials and non-necessities. She also is so busy preparing for the wedding that she forgets to eat and refuses to sleep for more than a few hours a night. And she's experiencing increased aggression as well. Because of her excessive spending, Lynn gets in a fight with her fiance and she becomes physically aggressive. And her fiance threatens to call the police if she doesn't calm down. As she's leaving the house, she makes a false claim that she worked as a police officer and is the chief police for the city. Because of that, she probably wouldn't be charged for violence, is what she claims. Lynn, when her mood switched to depression, she realizes the wrongfulness and severity of her actions. She apologizes to her fiance, and she is scared because that is the first time that she has ever crossed a boundary because of her mood swings, and she's also experiencing suicidal thoughts. Her fiance then convinces her to go to the hospital to seek help. So recognizing the cues. So some of the cues that you would recognize from this scenario are depression, hyperactivity, irritability, manic excitement, impulsivity, weight loss, delusions of grandeur, and unable to develop satisfying relationships. Okay, analyzing these cues. What could be happening to Lynn right now? She could have ADHD, borderline personality disorder, bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and schizoaffective disorder. Some things you would need to know to come to a conclusion is a clear documentation of the symptoms, severity, length, and frequency, family history, have the doctor ask them questions to determine their reasoning, memory, and their ability to express themselves and maintain relationships, and any past medical history. So the physician orders vital signs, electrolyte panel, nutrition's needs to meet her daily recommended allowances, a mood disorder questionnaire, as well as in-person assessment according to the American Psychiatric Association Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorder. Alright, so all of her vitals and electrolyte panel came within normal. She states that her symptoms are depression, suicidal thoughts, hyperactivity, increased irritability, impulsiveness, weight loss, sleep deprivation, and excessive mood swings. Her family history does include bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, and ADHD, and she was diagnosed with ADHD at 9 years old. So what's your hypothesis? My hypothesis is that Lynn has a bipolar 1 disorder. If she has bipolar 1 disorder, then she will have at least one manic episode. Lynn may have bipolar 2 up until her manic episode. Since the manic episode has occurred, it is likely that she will diagnose with bipolar 1. So here's evidence-based practice quotes from different articles as well as our semester book, if you want to take a look at those. Generate a solution. So what we want for this patient is to develop some outcomes. So we want her to be no longer suicidal, not have any injury while she's at the hospital with us, make it so that she doesn't harm herself or others, and meets her daily nutritional needs. And one thing that might be good is to have her be able to explain that which of her behaviors is appropriate and inappropriate, and decrease her manipulative behaviors. So here's a list of some actions. Some of the main ones that I want to point out is take suicidal prevention since she's suicidal, stay with the patient when they're distressed, provide physical activities to help her get out her energy or aggression, limit stimuli, keep calm attitude and use a matter-of-fact statement when she becomes hostile, if she does, and using restraints to protect self and the client and staff. Some other ones, making sure that she has finger foods to help with her nutritional needs, and do not argue or bargain or reason with this patient. Instead, follow through with consequences for unacceptable behavior and state the expectations for the patient. Here's a little quiz to test your knowledge. All right, so the scenario, patient outcomes. After being diagnosed, Lynn has started taking mood stabilizers and therapy. At first, Lynn is in denial about her diagnosis, but she does the treatment anyways. After being in the hospital for 2 weeks, she can see positive results from the therapy, and Lynn is responds well to matter-of-fact statements when hostile. No restraints were needed, and she's getting adequate sleep and nutrition. She appreciates the company and physical activities she is able to participate in, and now that her family is included in the education and therapy, she feels more comfortable about the diagnosis and states she no longer is suicidal. The doctor says that she may return home, and the nurses teach her of the importance of continuing the treatment even if she feels better. So let's evaluate these outcomes. Is Lynn improving? And what interventions are effective for Lynn? So I put yes, she is improving. She is no longer suicidal and is not causing injury to self or others. She has an increased appetite with adequate nutrition and adequate rest, and she was able to verbalize behaviors that were appropriate or inappropriate, but her manipulative behaviors still need some improvement. All right. Other interventions that would be beneficial for the patient and the family is education on medication, and as well as being involved in all types of education about the disorder. So family-focused treatment is what I want to talk about. It includes a session of all kinds of education, such as treatment, self-management, communication, and problem solving. And then my conclusion is this: Lynn was diagnosed correctly with bipolar disorder 1, and due to the medication and different therapy options, there is still a lot of education that can benefit Lynn and her family. For example, Lynn is taking lithium. When taking lithium, it is important to know that there is a very narrow therapeutic range, as well as recognizing the signs of lithium toxicity. And then patient care provided by the staff at the hospital was done exceptionally well. The staff remained calm and did not argue with the patient and used matter-of-fact statements when the patient was being hostile. And then continuing therapy for bipolar disorder is important because many people with bipolar disorder experience a relapse. The family-focused treatment can help reduce that relapse. And then if Lynn can continue diligently with her treatment, it will improve the quality of life for her and her family. And then here are my APA references, and those are the links for the pictures. Thanks. Hope this was helpful.